Puesto va al número 677.
You should see me in the crowd.
Felicidades.
When no one is nothing to help. Watch me make them bow. One by one. One by. You should see me in the crowd. Silence is my favorite sound. Watch me make them bow. One by one. One by one. You say, come over, babe.
He's brushing his teeth like a good boy. We just checked in to the hotel in Mexico City. We literally have to walk over a bridge to get to the airport tomorrow, which is really nice. So we kind of get to sleep in. Goodness, this has just been wild. Okay, I need to get like 3 hours of sleep. It's 2:15 in the morning. Well, that was entertaining. It is Monday, December 12th. Currently in Mexico City with my chalan, my husband, with my #1 supporter. Say good morning.
Good morning.
We are flying to Vegas in a few hours. We're going to the airport very soon. I'm not competing tomorrow. And to be honest, I thought about this last night. I'm a little bit upset. I thought it was going to be a really cool experience to compete at Olympia Amateurs, to step on an international stage. I've never competed, even in powerlifting, I never competed in the USA. So I thought that would be fun. And I can never do that now. I can never compete in another amateur event. But yesterday was wild. I mentioned earlier, I just had like a good feeling and like this different level about it. And I was very confident. With competitions, especially with bikini competitions, they're very subjective. And it doesn't matter how good I look or how confident I am or how amazing my posing is or routine, whatever it is, it depends on who shows up and what the judges want to see. That was the first time I competed in front of head judge Kelly. He was an amazing person. He actually gave me feedback last competition when I had mentioned that I didn't get feedback from the person that I was supposed to get feedback from, so I ended up reaching out to somebody else. This was the same guy, so that was really cool. So he was like, I remember you. He's like, I knew that. He's like, you deserve to be in the pro leagues. He's like, you are absolutely professional and congratulations. So that was really, really nice. It was just kind of wild. Basically after yesterday, as soon as I stepped off stage, it's like, okay, what do we do? Like, we still have to go to Vegas. We're still going because we have tickets. We paid for the flights and the hotels. In another way, it's nice that we get to go and kind of relax. I'm not sure at this point. I don't know if we're going to stay for the expo on the weekend. That is obviously not important. So this vlog series obviously has changed. There was supposed to be another part coming up after with like all this competition. Olympia recap, that's not happening. So I'll do a recap in a couple of days, probably after Vegas, get my thoughts together. We already have something set for my pro debut, which I'm really, really excited for. And I need that. We are off to Vegas to go enjoy. Probably, honestly, no cheat meals. I ate 2 rice cakes last night. That was it. I'm just like, I'm tired and I just want to sleep. I still have all of my prepped meals from Athlete for today and tomorrow. And I'm just going to eat them because 1, I paid for them. 2, they're going to go bad and I just don't want to throw out food. But it helps me to stay organized and to help me stay on a good track and to not that I would binge. That's just not my mindset. I don't have that kind of like, I guess, mentality or mindset or approach when it comes to nutrition, which I'm very grateful for. It's just one less thing for me to think about, and it's going to help make the transition into this, however long this off season is, just a little bit easier. That is my update. I feel like I have more things to say, so I will say those later, but that's that right now. Bye. What do you think that is?
Tongue bite my time, wearing a warning sign. Wait till the world is mine.
Hello from my coffee table in Vegas. The lighting in this hotel room is absolute shit, so I'm literally sitting on a coffee table. It is Wednesday, December 14th. I did not compete in Olympia Amateurs yesterday because I am not allowed, but I watched it. Basically, the last clip that I had right before this video, I was still in Puebla. From that time, Monday morning until this morning, was rough for me, if I'm being completely honest. It was a lot of travel. We were really tired. Vegas is cold. I do not do well in cold weather. Just mentally, I struggle. mental a lot. That's probably one of the hardest mental challenges for me. So yesterday was a very challenging day. I was supposed to compete in the amateurs. Obviously I didn't. I've said that like 800 times now, but I did end up going to watch the show. I figure it might be a good perspective for me to just watch the whole experience and take it in, because to be honest, I don't think I've ever actually watched a amateur competition before. I've only been in it and I've watched pro shows. So I'm like, this would be a great opportunity. So I did it. I'm glad I did it. I ended up watching the prejudging and the finals, but with like the weather and time zone change, like I'm 3 hours behind Cancun time, plus like the adrenaline and exhaustion from competing on Sunday. Like looking back, I'm fucking glad that I did not compete yesterday. I was just really tired. Things happen for a reason. If I was to compete yesterday, the universe would have provided me a different path, if that makes sense. A little bit woo-woo or whatever. I think I had mentioned that I had prayed for my pro card on December 11th, not on December 13th. And I worked for it and I got it then so that I didn't have to do it yesterday. And to be honest, I don't know if I would have won it yesterday. The girls that were competing yesterday. Now, originally I was very intimidated. I think that's the right word that I want to use, with going into an Olympia Amateur competition. Now, it's still amateur, but I think because it's Olympia, I was expecting it to be really, really high level competitors. And by no means am I discrediting any competitor who showed up. The amount of work and effort and dedication and discipline, grit and sacrifice that is required for any level of athlete that goes on any stage like that, I absolutely respect and admire. But I think I just had this like different perception in my mind. As I was watching it, there were, and I say this very respectfully, there were women who I thought maybe it was like their first time on stage or their first couple of times where I would have felt confident that I would have beat them. But then honestly, there were some women where I was like, I don't know if I would beat her. And that's fine. That's also a big reason why the sport is very subjective, and it doesn't matter how good I look or a certain athlete looks. It depends on who shows up that day. I think I do need to mention, because I haven't mentioned it yet, what the fuck does an IFBB Pro card status mean? I am considered now to be a professional in the International Federation of Bodybuilding, which is pretty fucking cool. I'm a professional in this sport. The women that I now get to compete with and share the stage, those women, like the top ones, like the best of the best in this division now, they go on to the Olympia. That's insane. Now, they're at the top. I am now starting at the bottom again. And that's cool because it gives me like a whole new different perspective to like focus on and to think about. And now I am, instead of just like envisioning that I'm a pro athlete, I'm fucking there. So I am like living that manifestation, which is cool and fucking intimidating at the same time. So I want to talk about some things from the competition, my DIY glam and the pro tan fail. I did my own makeup, and I've done my own makeup for the last couple of shows, and this time was the best time that my makeup has ever looked. I felt so fucking good with it, and I'm really, really happy with how I did it, how I applied it, all of that, the blend with the tan, all of it was beautiful. I also have hair extensions in. So I have the tape-in hair extensions. The last competition, actually the two earlier competitions this year, Cancun and Mexico City, I was not able to wear the tape-in hair extensions because when I got my hormone replacement therapy done in May, something just didn't work well with my body and how it reacted and responded with the new dose of hormones, and I ended up losing a lot of my hair. My hair was not strong enough to hold the tape-in extensions because when I had them in for my wedding, they actually fell out in chunks. So the last like 6 months has been very difficult for me with my hair, but to know that my hair is now healthy enough to have the tape-in hair extensions, fucking thriving. I wanted the tape-in hair extensions because they allow my hair to be longer, which hides my back. I don't have to hide my back as a bikini competitor. I don't want my back to be distracting from the areas that are more important as a bikini competitor, my shoulders and my glutes. It's almost like I hide my back, and that's why like you see some bikini girls and they flip their hair over and stuff. Like, now you can, it's totally fine, you can, but it's distracting. And if your back as a bikini competitor looks too big or muscular, it's a distraction from your strengths. So they don't look at your back, they don't judge your back as a bikini competitor. But if you start like doing all this like extra stuff and like showing off your back and stuff and taking away from the areas that are more important, like your shoulders and your glutes, it's hard for the judges to score you. So hair to hide the back, was longer, loved it, felt confident, really happy with it. Now my suit, I ended up getting a new suit. It is the exact same one that I just had, the purple one, like it's all still the same, but for some reason, and I have no idea why, and Krista, the suit designer, has no idea why. So 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before this competition, I put my suit on and I noticed some of the stones were fading, and I was like, well, that's weird. And I sent it to her and she was like, I don't don't know why this is happening. I'm like, what the fuck can we do? Like, I have 2 weeks. You can't make a suit and deliver it into Mexico within the next week because I have to travel. And guess what? She did it. Huge shout out to Krista at KH Customs. She over friggin' delivered. I am so happy with the suit. I think it was just maybe a rhinestone, like a certain color. Maybe it was like losing its fade, or I don't know if somehow it was affected by the temperature here in Mexico, at home in Mexico, but that shouldn't have impacted it because I've never had that experience before. Anyway, new suit for me to feel my most confident. The Pro-Tan fail that I want to talk about, and by no means am I bashing Pro-Tan. I think they're a phenomenal company because the Pro-Tan employees or service providers at the show showed up for me, and I adore them and appreciate them immensely. A couple shows this year, I have done my own Pro-Tan. The first show, the Cancun Classic, my coach had mentioned that my tan was a little bit light. So we ended up doing a third coat. So usually you do 2 coats of Pro-Tan DIY base, and then the morning of the show, you do the top coat. So I did 2 coats. At the Mexico Grand Battle, I did 3 coats of the base, but I did 2 of them in the same day with an 8-hour time span apart, which is what showed online. Someone else had done it or they had mentioned it, and you can do it like as long as you have 8 hours to let that sink in, you can rinse it off and apply a final coat. So this time I ended up doing that again, but I did it the day before instead. I did it 3 days before. So I did a Thursday coat, a Friday coat, Saturday coat. When I showed up Sunday at the competition, I was just like, this just doesn't feel right. I was doing some posing backstage. I was looking at the video. I'm like, my glutes are splotched and this shouldn't be happening. Thankfully, my brain was like fully functioning. And I was like, I need to go find the Pro-Tan company and get them to help me with this because like, I can't go on stage like this. Now I had to pay for it. They ended up basically redoing my entire tan backstage like 1 hour before I went on. And I cannot appreciate them enough for doing that. I know many professionals or know of many professionals that do their own Pro-Tan, and that's fine. I think just maybe with my skin, it doesn't soak in properly. So I just now know moving forward, I will not be doing the Pro-Tan DIY kit because for me, it just doesn't work for my skin. Everybody is different. I will make sure that I am going with the pros and getting the spray tan service provided that comes at every competition. All right, now jumping back to the Olympia Amateur experience. Again, I have never seen an amateur competition watching it. I've only seen the pro shows or I've only been in amateur shows. So everything's like so different now. So I was really happy that I got to go watch the amateur show yesterday. I only watched the bikini stuff. Like really, that's all I care about. So I went and watched that. I was able to see things from a different perspective. I could tell what women were confident, where flaws were, things that I would do differently. And like everybody's different. Everybody has different posing coaches and stuff like that. So I respect it all. I was able to see things from a much different perspective and it was really cool. I like that. There were a few, I guess, call outs that I saw where some girls were trying to do too much. And I honestly think keeping it simple is better. In bikini, all they care about is your front pose and back pose. The moment you step on stage, they are watching you and you are on. So every single thing that you do matters. Your walk and your eye contact. Like all those little things are really, really important in the bikini division. Seeing girls just doing a lot of extra stuff, I'm like, just fucking keep it simple. Like, please just keep it simple. I was sitting there and like almost getting anxiety. I'm like, just stop doing that. Usually you get like 15 seconds. By the time you walk into that front box, you have 15 seconds. They will say thank you. And then you have to leave the stage. When I was in Mexico City, they're like, you have 10 seconds. So I was like, okay, we're going to shorten it a little bit. That's totally fine. When I was at this last weekend, when I competed, they said from the time they call your name, and that would be like, they call my name, then I would walk on stage. They're like, you have 30 seconds. So I'm like, oh, I have like a little bit more time. Now, obviously I have to account for the time that I have to walk up to that box, but I'm like, I probably had an extra few seconds, but I was like, I am not going to change anything. I'm not going to do anything different because the more time I am on stage, the more flaws are noticeable. You want to go on there, you want to walk up to the front box, you want to hit your front pose, transition to the back, nail that back pose, turn around, thank the judges for their time and consideration, and get the fuck off stage. The more time you're on stage, the more chances the judges can like start seeing flaws and stuff. The Olympia Amateur was a different experience. It was cool to watch it from the other side of the stage. Looking back at it now, I'm glad I did not compete. So I had mentioned yesterday, I just wasn't like in a good state of mind. So I woke up in the morning with time zone, like everything was off. I still went and did some cardio in the morning, went to the gym in the afternoon, and I didn't want to, and I didn't have to, because technically I was supposed to compete yesterday. So like there was nothing like planned or programmed. The best thing I can do right now is move, even though I really don't want to. And as I was in the gym, I literally did 3 exercises, but I wasn't just like in that state of mind. And I sat down with myself yesterday and I was like, the best thing I can do right now is to get into my routine and just go back to the things that make me feel good and consistent and that I stay structured in. This morning I woke up, did my morning stretches, I did my vacuum practice, did like my whole morning routine, still did cardio in the morning. This morning I brought my laptop to the gym and I was on the treadmill, I was doing client check-ins just to like get back into like a routine and rhythm. I went into the gym today, I had a great friggin' shoulder workout. I ended up doing one of the workouts that was in programming. I know I like it and like I feel really good about it. All my meals are the same because it's like one less thing to think about. So I will share my grocery haul. It's not even really a grocery haul, but this lighting is horrendous. I just want to show a couple of things that I picked up from the grocery store. I still want to follow as similar of my meal plan, I guess if you want to call it, as possible. 1, it's less for me to think about. 2, I know it digests well. And 3, it helps me like stay in control and confident with my choices without falling off the deep end. Not that that's something I would do. I still have some meals or some freezer packed ingredients from Athlete that did my meal prep. We have like our little half-assed kitchen here. We have a microwave, we have a fridge. Basically, considering that, I picked up a couple more things. Pre-cooked and cut up chicken breast. I got some tuna steaks. Right now, I've been eating tuna raw. I'll be fine. Instant basmati rice, like this is the friggin' goat. These are the easiest things ever. I love all of these. Low sodium oven roasted turkey breast. This is going to be in swap of my tilapia. I love eating tilapia, but I'm not gonna have fish in the room, especially like if I need to microwave it or something, it's going to smell. I usually eat my tilapia with rice cakes before a workout, so I figure if I just use turkey breast on top of the rice cakes, it's just really super convenient. I also picked up some easy vegetables. I got spinach and green beans. Green beans are not on my plan, or they weren't before, but they're a very safe food for my digestion. And I picked up some salsa. I just love salsa. This is like one of my things where if I can just put something on top of everything, it would be salsa. So I ended up getting that. But for me, in my mind, in order to avoid the post-show blues or depression or kind of just feelings of being lost in terms of what to do afterwards, whether or not I have a pro debut planned, the best thing I can do is stick to routine. And nothing is going to change drastically over the next couple of days until I get back to Cancun. For me right now, it's something I don't have to think about. With everything else going on, with all the other like variables and stuff right now, it makes sense. And that's what works for me. So anyways, that is my update for part 3 of this YouTube series. I still need to wait until I get judges' feedback. I want to get the official video of my performance, and then we will talk about that. Me. I will share plans for my pro show debut or what we're going to be doing afterwards, because again, nothing is going to change over the next couple of days while I'm in Vegas. There are some things that need to happen when I get back to Cancun. I need to get judges' feedback. I need to get blood work done before we enter any kind of prep again. That is my update. Thank you for hanging out with me on part 3, and thank you for supporting me. Oh my gosh, I'm an IFBB bikini professional. That's so fucking cool. Bye, strong friends.